Okay, looking at the Palestinian Christians and the war in Israel. Most of us have now seen or heard of the protest against Israel in our colleges and universities by students and even professors. They're demonstrating their ignorance of the Palestinian Christians and the God of the Bible. They are cheering Hamas and others on in their attacks against Israel. Is this biblical? No, it is not. Let's take a look at who the Palestinian Christians are and some of what they believe. Christian Palestinians say that the land of the Bible is Palestine and not Israel, that the Son of God is a Palestinian and not Jewish. That it is the Palestinians that are inheritors of the land and not the Jews. The Jews are occupiers and not true owners of the land, and they have not been given by God in the Old Testament and by the Balfour Proclamation in 1917, and as a free nation since 1948. Christian Palestinians teach that God is through with the Jews, as is taught by replacement theology. Since the church has replaced Israel, Israel in the Middle East is not the true Israel. And therefore, they are occupiers and colonizers. Of course, this is a false teaching. Palestinian theology of liberation focuses on the humanity of Jesus of Nazareth, who was also a Palestinian living under an occupation. And of course, Jesus was not a Palestinian. Palestine didn't exist. There was no name Palestine at the time Jesus was born. The writing of scriptures was completed before the word Palestinian was ever known. The only occupation there was in that day was Rome, not Israeli. Therefore, Christ was not born a Palestinian. God's word tells us that Jesus was a Jew, and those that are protesting and demanding Israel to be wiped out are wrong. Even our so-called professors of our universities. Currently, there are many evangelical churches and organizations worldwide, including Christian Palestinians, boycotting products from Israel in an effort to destroy Israel. Christian Palestinian labels Israel as occupiers and colonizers, but the Bible makes it clear that Israel is neither an occupier nor a colonizer. The Bible gives clear boundaries of the land given to Israel by God himself, and one has to change the meaning of God's word, and rewrite biblical and Jewish history, which is what Christian Palestinians have done. What many don't understand is that for Christian Palestinians to exist, Israel must cease to exist. But then, of course, this is also the goal of the Muslims. If one believes that God has changed his mind and is finished with Israel and the Jews, they can then say that the Israelis are colonizers, and this is the cause of the evil against the Palestinians. Where does this accusation against Israel come from? It comes from the Palestinians, the liberals, some Christians, most Palestinian Arab Christians, from the Muslims, and from the major news media. And these groups always demonize Israel, who is the victim, and glorifies the Palestinians, who are the perpetrators. Sadly, biblical illiteracy is too common in our churches today. This makes it easy for the revisions of the Christian Palestinians to take place. Some of these depict Christ as the first Palestinian living in the land of Palestine. Of course, the Palestinian Authority loves this revision. The Bible never mentions a connection of Jesus with Palestine, and the word Palestine did not exist until 100 years after the death of Christ. So all Bible-believing Christians should be alarmed at all the professors and college students, other politicians, and others across the country and around the world that are reigniting the anti-Semitism and anti-Jewish prejudice of past ages that brought us the gas chambers and the near elimination of Jews in Europe. This is sad that people don't educate themselves before they get out on the streets and start telling Hamas to kill the Israelites. And thank you for listening.